Welcome! In this video, you will learn about the phylogenetic history of the four main plant divisions, their characteristics, sexual and boring or asexual reproduction, a flower as a reproductive structure, and the various modes of pollination. We'll start at the beginning with the appearance of bryophytes about 438 million years ago. These primitive little guys are the colonists of the plant kingdom, as they are pretty much always the first thing that grows in a new area. Take a look at some moss or liverwort. They're found in shady, damp places. They have no vascular tissue, phloem and xylem, and so they're small, no true leaves or roots, and no fruit, hinting that they might not really be cut out for life on land, which they aren't. These plants prepare the environment for more complex plants that may grow there in the future. They do, however, have simple leaf-like structures and an early form of root system called rhizoids. They reproduce sexually via spores, but are dependent on the presence of water around them, as their gametes, or sex cells, can only move through water. After these biological simpletons came the pteridophytes, who, to be honest, weren't much better. They did, however, manage to get true leaves, roots, and vascular tissue right, allowing them to grow many times larger than bryophytes. Pteridophytes retained the characteristic of sexually reproducing via spores that depend on water for gamete transport, which are stored in pods on the underside of their fronds called sori. While less dependent on blessed H2O than bryophytes, pteridophytes still occupy the same general habitat as their evolutionary deficient older sibling. Approximately 250 to 140 million years ago, the first gymnosperms appeared, bringing with them a whole bunch of new characteristics for biology students to learn. Unfortunately for you, they didn't just break the mold, they had ambitions of world domination as well. These ambitions stemmed from the fact that gymnosperms did not need water to sexually reproduce, they used wind instead. They managed this through the cunning use of cones that stored their gametes, female gametes in seeds not enclosed in a fruit, and male gametes in pollen. The idea was that the wind blew pollen from one tree's male cone to another's female cone. Along with true roots, stems, leaves, and better developed conducting and strengthening tissue, this advance allowed gymnosperms to thrive in a range of environmental conditions including cold, windy, dry, and sandy climates. Angiosperms first appeared on the evolutionary scene about 120 million years ago and have dominated the Earth's window boxes ever since. The main differences between angiosperms and gymnosperms are: angiosperms store both gametes in its flowers, produce fruit, and can live in pretty much any habitat from the surface of a pond to the sands of a desert. Similarities include true roots, leaves and stems, and the use of seeds. Angiosperms have diversified to be pollinated by many different vectors, or methods, including the wind, insects, and birds. The adaptations that took place to accommodate these vectors are pretty extensive, ranging from Restio's flexible stem and feather-like structured flowers designed to net pollen from the air, to an orchid's bright colour, sweet nectar and insect-enticing aromas, or a fuchsia's warm hues and plentiful nectar designed to attract birds. Wind-pollinated plants produce millions of tiny grains of pollen to ensure it can float in the air, and at least some of them complete their journey. Insect-pollinated plants have sticky and/or spiky pollen grains of moderate size and quantity, as they have a higher chance of reaching their destination, and bird-pollinated plants have larger grains to stick to the bird's feathers adequately. Sexual reproduction involves the fusion of two nuclei, normally gametes, to produce unique offspring. Advantages include the volume of individuals that are produced and their resistance to disease. Disadvantages are the slow speed at which it progresses and the increased time required for the plant to reach full maturity. Asexual reproduction involves only one parent and does not use male or female gametes, it only involves the process of splitting. Advantages include being equally adapted to the environment as the parent and being able to reproduce rapidly. Disadvantages are the uniform susceptibility of the plants to disease and producing fewer offspring in relation to sexual reproduction.